Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Today the goal is go and fight Cho's drowned crew. It's the last of the base bosses we have left. And after that, well, we got some plans, but we'll do this for now. So, as it says, kill the drowned crew. The vengeful wraiths threaten to drag all we built down to their domain of darkness. Give them a sailor's death once and for all, which I plan on doing. So, the plan is, we got a kind of damaging blight bleed group that I hope is more or less gonna work, so we'll see about this. We got Ching the Corsair, who's gonna try to take place one more or less. We'll see how that works. We have Getaway to really up her dodge, and then Face Me to kind of up that even more. So between these two, she should have 75 dodge if I can get it to work correctly. So hopefully, once she does that, the crew can't really get the anchor on her is the hope. Then she has 1000 cuts and disembowel for damage, disembowel doing 6 bleed for 3 rounds, and then we have the whip of domination doing extra damage versus bleeding, extra bleed chance and extra bleed duration, and then we have the Mako map, which does plus scouting chance, and because we're in the Cove, plus bleed chance in the Cove. So we don't necessarily have the 140 bleed chance, we have about a 200% bleed chance. So hopefully we can bleed the crew. I know they can be bled. I'm pretty sure they can be bled, so that's going to be a thing. We then have Norman, our botanist, that I haven't really used since we resurrected her, but she has hot to trot first of all, so plus 20 accuracy, 5 crit, 25% damage on the first round. It's really, really good. But then we're going to be using Nightshade Brew, which is a 4 blight for 3 rounds, and then plus the blight and bleed amount received on the enemy. The crew doesn't have the biggest debuff chance, so this should be landing pretty easily. And afterward, we have Spore Brew to do some damage, and actually this will be doing big AoE damage. You'll just have to wait to see the trinkets. It also bypasses stealth, de-stealths, and shuffles, and lowers accuracy, which will be nice. We have Herbal Infusion as a Cure Blight and a Restoration Heal, and Herbicide. Herbicide doing more blight damage and more blight chance versus anything with low health. Now we have the Ancestor's Notes. So Spore Brew will do plus 8 damage. That's plus 8 damage on everything she hits. So if there's 4 enemies, it does plus 32 total damage because plus 8 on 4 different targets. Friendly skill, which is Herbal Infusion here, minus 5 torch. Friendly skill, buff target to ignore stealth, and on attack hit, buff target is stealth. So that could be bad. We'll see how this works, but we'll see. Then Foreign Blend plus restoration amount, so Herbal Infusion will heal for a little bit more, minus blight amount. So she personally won't be blighting for as much, but she's more to throw on the debuffs. It was Spore Brew and Emergency Heal get blight off, and on friendly skill all heroes will heal for 2. We then have Celeste as a backup healer, Protective Shell guarding an ally, activating Riposte, and chance as a block. Also, when she puts the guard up, she gives herself 30 protection, cleansing crystals to heal herself, 3 for 3 restoration, and then healing the target for 5 to 6, and a 3 for 3 restoration. We have Reality Bend, hitting the target by passing stealth, lowering healing received, which is a thing for Cho's crew, and then we have Crystaline Resonance. So this bleeds and blights, and then when we throw in our trinket, better bleed chance, better bleed duration. We then have her Sunward trinket here, so plus bleed duration, minus bleed amount. So that's why we got the bleeding crystal on here, kind of it out. Then on Riposte hit, bleed light 3 for 3. And then finally, to round things off, we have the Gunwitch. Gonna be starting off with Right of the Third Eye, giving the target the ability to ignore stealth, bypass guard, enough accuracy to basically hit no matter what, and then on non-lethal attack, deal 6 damage to all enemies. It'll also buff her Cauldron Motor so that she can do a 3 for 3 blight and plus 120 accuracy. Then, because we're using Right of the Third Eye, we have the Hollow Shard. Hollow Shard doing 1 bleed for 990 rounds. Basically, it's a guarantee. We then have Cauldron Motor, which is going to get blight from the pre-mentioned Right of the Third Eye, otherwise lowering debuff resistance and doing a lot of damage. Dark Omen, debuffing target to have plus crits received, and just giving Cauldron Motor a lot of damage. And Broomstick to do damage, and if it hits something that's marked by Dark Omen, will deal 6 damage to all enemies, including the thing that is marked by Dark Omen on top of the damage from Broomstick. We then have the Tamer's Topper, which is a trinket I got from the carnival a few episodes back, so she has plus 50% debuff chance for all the debuffs she has here. That's kind of the plan. All those moves kind of collected together. I have 2 healers for emergencies. I'm hoping that the Drowner is going to be targeting Ching, because I'm going to try to be getting her in front, and then just stacking all the damage over time on the boss. So I'm going to be bringing foods, shovels, anti-venom and bandages, debuff stuff, few keys, a lot of holy water, torches. We're going to be bringing training ribbons so we don't miss. Well, anyone that Morrigan doesn't have that for, but nonetheless. And Athenums for the debuffs and the blight chances. Everyone's getting those. And then there's a lot of stress going on here, so we're going to get the amphitheaters. And I'm going to get some memorial ribbons going on just because 1 guard and then 1 for Ching, because she's going to be getting a mark on herself for a lot of the fights, that is. Let's go.
While the greedy dogs slept off their revelry, I hexed their anchor with every twisted incantation I could muster, imbuing it with the weight of my ambition and my contempt for their crude extortion. At the witching hour, the anchor pulled with preternatural force, dragging craft and crew down into the depths. They must have cried out, but no sound escaped the swirling black waters.
All right. So Ching gets memorial ribbon, everyone else gets every ribbon. Why can't I use amphitheater on her? Memorial on Celeste again. Oh, she probably had an amphitheater on her when she died. I had that effect and a training ribbon. I had that effect with someone else. So once I get into a battle, everything will be fine. Alright, who's good with traps? 60, 80, 70, 60. We'll go with the 80. Just even had to do the trap. There we go. Yeah, for some reason, the memorial, or all the ribbons rather, have a kind of weird effect that when someone dies with them on it, like any of the ribbons, and then they get revived like Norman did there.
Impressive haul.
They
Value such things.
can't be used until partially into the dungeon. Ooh, the Drowned Anchorman. I've actually been looking for this guy. So there is a slight chance that he drops a item that gives me a quirk that causes a boss to spawn here in the Cove. Now it's only like a 5 or 10% drop chance, something like that.
The birthplace.
So we'll see. For now, we're gonna do Nightshade Brew on the Ghoul. And then next turn, we're gonna have to take out the Thrall. Crystaline Resonance, take out Ghoul. Leading 4 and 7. Alright, we're gonna 1,000 cuts the Thrall. Reality Bend, make sure he goes down.
Broken. Maintain the offensive.
Spore Brew. I think the Drowned Anchorman... Oh no, he doesn't have enough damage on him. They're all stealthed. She can't do anything about that. That's maybe a bad plan. Bottle all spirits. Maybe it's just me, but I thought the apostrophe came after the L. Maybe that's just me though. Herbicide actually no, Nightshade Brew on the Insatiable Ghoul, because we have Drowned Crewman going down next turn, or now.
As the fiend falls.
Yeah, that's some pretty good art there. 1,000 cuts. just to move back forward. I cannot bypass the stealth for now, so this is gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem, that trinket. Protective shell for the riposte. Herbicide for the blight. 13. Yeah, he goes down at least. There we go.
Monster's size has no intrinsic merit.
We got it.
Inordinate exsanguination
We got it.
a virtue.
So I'm going to use this on Ching, because if I don't use this now, it sells at the end of the quest. So I have to use it on one of these four, and I think it would be awesome for Ching to be able to fight the, like, Cove boss. So let's do it. Ghostly Chained. Plus protection, plus move resistance. Hopefully that don't lose that. Taking what I can otherwise, and moving on along. So now there's like a 10% chance that a boss spawns or something like that. I genuinely did not think that I would be getting that. So we'll see what happens here. I had kind of written that boss off, more or less. We can still do the Spore Brew. Then the guard. Very nice dodges. Blight the Savage there. Blight them all, actually. Kind of surprised she dodged. Crystaline Resonance on Savage. Also hits Piranha back there, because it's an AoE. Up received. 9 and 2. I can't do Disembowel, so we're gonna do 1,000 Cuts, just hitting him because it's one of the things we can do. Then Laser takes out the rust.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Haha, you missed. Then Broomstick.
Precision
Crit takes him out.
power.
I love it.
Their cursed champion falls.
Alright. Take that. We'll take the bandages. We'll take the money. We'll pop this one open. And take some more money. Actually gonna get rid of the extra bandages there. Not sure that's a good plan, but it's a plan. We'll go to the room on the left. I have a better feeling about that. As I walk into the trap.
Is the trap maker's art. His efficacy on
Oh, I'll eat the
eyes.
debuff there. Take the onyxes. Immediately use the torch here.
As the
And be on our merry way.
spirits are lifted and purpose is made.
10 rounds we have the debuff for, so I'm gonna go into the battle with that. And we'll medicinal herb it off because that she's kind of banking on the debuff or the dodge there. Okay. Let's do face me, hit the piranha, that way he does less damage to everyone else. Ooh, Koshu. Can like almost immediately take out the armored maggot if I wanted to. We are going to guard the Botanist. Right of the third eye. We'll go on the Corsair again. Then Spore Brew going forward. Thought that was supposed to do 8 extra damage. Maybe it did, and then the protection. Alright. So we're going to do 1,000 cuts. Let's take out the Tidemaster here.
Press this advantage.
I know I could be bleeding, but eh. Motor, hitting the maggot, blighting the rest. Blight takes out the maggot. We got a Nightshade Brew. Actually, what would this do to him? 10 to 14. Yeah, screw it.
The slow death. Unforeseen.
Then,
Unforgiving.
let's heal up a tad.
Slowly.
Just Stinger left.
This is how a life is taken.
Which... I don't think I can hit it with this, so Dark Omen, marking it. Had 1 turn left on the eyeball. Herbicide? Or Nightshade Brew. Nightshade Brew does about the same. Dulcet, but that's fine because we're going to 1,000 cuts to take it out.
Dedicated.
There we go.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
That's a melee, that's a ranged. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll take the money for now. And we will trade actually a stack of the money out for a emerald before we bandage that.
A handsome
Take the
reward
torch.
for a task well.
Use a torch. And go in. We'll pop to the right here, just see what this is. And get some food. Heal up with that. We'll take the onyx, obviously. Not that I really need the gold. But it helps. I think I spent like 75,000 training this group, so like it helps. If you saw the gold total from this episode and last episode.
Otherworldly corruption.
Alright, there we go. Do I want to open this one? The boss is going to either be here or here. If I don't scout and I go the wrong way, yeah, I'll leave it for now. The reasoning is like two shovels to get all the way to this spot. And then if I go the wrong way, I could actually be boned. So we're gonna... You know what? Let's just disembowel. I'll hit him for 6.
A devastating blow.
Actually, I thought I was supposed to get a plus amount there. Do the extra attack there. Nightshade Brew on the one that's damaged. So he takes extra Bleed and Blight amount. And we'll see what happens. Well, he's in 4, so as long as... Oh, no, never mind. Protection detail. Celeste can guard. Got the Aegis, lovely. Ooh, there's 3 riposts there. We'll go with the Arbiter. Face me for the extra dodge. Was not expecting a laser to go off, so I didn't technically do damage. We are going to Cauldron Motor you. That way everyone's blighted. Love the dodge. 1 down. Let's top Norman off. You can keep trying there. Actually got me. Alright. So 1, 7, you need to go down, which you will. We are going to 1,000 cuts the one in back. And watch him drop. Oh wow, that got me good. Can I do this at all? No, I can't, so we're gonna broomstick the one in back.
Confidence.
Another one falls.
The enemy crumbles.
Cleansing crystals. Interesting that she has the bad whistle.
Continue the onslaught.
Destroy them all.
Just restoration for now so you don't stealth. Heal up. Cause one attack and it goes down. Alright, take the emeralds. I want the ruby.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow.
Greedy person wants the ruby. Who would have thought? Torch up. Can use the anti-venom here to heal Morgan. Thought it actually would have healed health. Come on, give me that hat from the treasure. I'd really like that hat. Make sure she doesn't miss.
Confusion, nerves, and
I'm
panic.
gonna use a silver bullet, and then we're gonna spore brew. Thought that would have crit. It's a ranged attack. Interesting. Alright, Fusilier. Reality Bend, bypassing stealth. Ouchie.
Terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
So the fun thing here is as long as I hit him, he gets blighted. Blight takes him out. Or I can do 1,000 cuts and the laser takes him out. That was a signal. No attack. I think you did your own attacking. Alright, we're gonna heal up. Well, you can guard. And then we're gonna heal Norman. Or not Norman, but regardless. Bop.
A victory.
How'd that one feel?
Turning point.
So we're gonna take the 2 rare antiques worth 2,500 gold. Ancestor's Lantern. I'm kinda surprised I don't have this, but it's a nice little one. And then nothing else really looks great. If I do this right, I'm not gonna need all those torches, so we'll do that. Continuing on. We'll get that heal in just a moment. And we got a Thalassic Mako. This could hurt. So what we're going to do is face me on him. Especially with these 2 guarding me. Oof. Because that's going to make it so he does less damage. We're going to Nightshade Brew, getting the Slaters, like, blighted. I need to start on that. Resonance, getting them blood and blighted. Especially the shark there. Both resisted. Ooh, even with the additional dodge, he got me. That's 3 bleed, 3 rounds, and he does extra 2 bleeding, so I need to get rid of that. There's a very easy thing I can do, so we'll see. First of all, bandage. And then get away. 82 dodge. Alright, Cauldron Motor hit Mako, blading the other two. So bladed for 7, bladed for 3. We're gonna heal, so Nightshade Brew. Up the amount he receives. Cleansing Crystals, healing Norman. Or King. I keep saying Norman for some reason. Yes, take the guard off of the Mako. Thank you. Oh. At least this ups damage on him. I guess against the Slater. No, really. Every time I've seen something like this, it doesn't work correctly, but it actually is. So, Mako is guarded by the one in rank 3, and this one's guarded by the one in rank 4. I've never seen that work correctly. Alright, so 1,000 cuts moving forward. And it's actually not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Getting a Spore Brew just hitting all of them. Oh, he actually hit me again with 82 dodge. Jeez. I mean, you can't rely on it 100%. There's always like a 5% chance of being hit or something like that. But yikes. That is 60% protection, man. Just keep adding all that up. Alright. This should make things easier. I think they extended the cooldown there or something, because I thought it was 2 turns before. But Nightshade Brew again. Didn't take any out, so Laser go. Healed for 3, bled for 9. Chop. Laser away again. I do believe I can take him out now.
The bigger the beast, the greater.
There we go. Alright, we'll just leave that. Perch up, go in here. Really hoping for a good scout. We'll have to see after this fight. Oh. Yeah, just hit them all. Get away. Extra dodge. Right of third eye. And guard. There we go. How'd that one feel, buddy? Well, they're all getting bladed now.
A decisive pummeling.
Now we're gonna Nightshade Brew the Bloodletter back here because he's pretty much the only one who's gonna be left standing.
Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
Kinda surprised on that one. 1,000 cuts. Let's go at the Bloodletter, and then Vroom Vroom Laser. And Cauldron Motor hitting this, blading the Bloodletter once again. Bandaging up, then we're gonna heal. I love that dodge. I love it so much. Nightshade Brew again. And I'm pretty sure he goes to Blight and Bleed. Cat, go search the body, please.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Right, let's take what we can. Food up. Leave the rest. And sure, Ching, actually, we got the good search. Okay, so we're gonna campfire here.
A moment
Feast
of
for the
rest,
health and the stress.
a chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
Let's see what we can do here. Prevent nighttime ambush with second serving. Takes a lot. We're gonna reinforce crystals, get the damage reflection, then I have 2 left. So we're gonna produce a silver bullet for the crit, which is gonna help her. And then we'll rest.
The way is lit.
Then, Ching being our big damager here,
Require only
holy water.
to follow it.
So plus 18% damage until camp. Going up. And shovel this. Can probably get rid of some food. No one really needs it. Okay. Shovel through this.
Another mariner, another miss.
I'm gonna check the curios and then we'll go for the boss. Which I can't get through. Okay, cool. So torching up. We'll search the body. Might get loot.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
Leave that. The plan is to holy water everyone because of the stun chance and all that jazz. And then we'll go in. Ching has that great dodge chance, so we have some hope there.
Shouts his orders, and the
We'll see. Okay. So what we're gonna do first is get away for the extra dodge. That's only for a few rounds though, I suppose. We're then going to Nightshade Brew, plus Perceived, all that jazz. That's for 5 rounds. Right of the third eye. We dodged, lovely. Some reflection there. Protecting Morgan. If anyone goes forward, I'd rather it be Celeste. Got that reflect, or the riposte rather. Got him blighted because of that. We are going to Cauldron Motor him. 27 damage plus blight on both. Just smacking. So that's a thing. Face me for the dodge. Minusing damage he does to anyone else. Gonna do the Crystalline Resonance. So he's bled and blighted. blighted for even more. Reflect. Awesome. And now you passed. Ha ha ha. So the plan was originally to disembowel him just for that bleed. But since the crewman's there, I'll do the chop, or the 1,000 cuts for 57 damage. Cool. And we'll move forward with Spore Brew. 2 and 3, so he's not going down quite yet. Let's Reality Bend. Minus the healing he receives. Should have guarded Norman. Dark Omen, so I can use Cauldron Motor again. Also plussing the damage it receives, upping the damage he receives as well. Oh, even with all our dodge, that hit. And that's really not good.
Coming unwound.
Can't be guarded. We're going to right of the third eye on Celeste now, just in case I did want to attack with her. We're going to heal with cleansing crystals on Norman, or we can't do that. So we're going to Reality Bend, so we can't guard who I want to guard either. So like this is the better of the two options. Healing thyself.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
He's getting really lucky with those hits. If I crit with Broomstick, he takes extra damage and so does the Anchorman. And everything becomes easier to deal with. Or rather, he should have. The Silver Bullet is not working. Interesting. Okay, Nightshade Brew on him. More damage received, all that jazz. Or Bleed Blight, all that jazz. We're gonna Protective Shell Norman again. Just because less dodge. Face me moving forward. Okay, blighted again, so that's 7 and 3. There we go. Blighted again, that's 11. I didn't realize he had a mode. He really does not like Ching after all of that. You need to move back. No stun. Heavy blight on Anchorman. Anchorman goes down. I'm gonna heal Ching with the Crystaline Herald there, so let's Nightshade Brew again. 15 and 3.
A powerful blow.
17 and 3. I didn't see a... Oh, he can make it so I lose a turn, that's right. Let's not make that mistake again. Does this hit? It does hit. And blights all enemies. Okay. I think the Anchorman goes down. We are going to Crystaline. Bleed blight, please. Bleed. Yeah, blight, bleed. There we go. So he takes 28 damage. He goes down on his turn.
Finally, a sailor's death.
Oh, I didn't realize I didn't have the pistol. Plus accuracy on ranged heals. Unranged hit, buff others, plus 5 accuracy. And 5 more rubies. And another blueprint I'm never gonna need. That's the crew down. So, another 15,000 gold that I don't need. Crew's Bell for plus 33% healing received, plus 33% stress relief received. And Obedience Helmet for the Rudiment? Don't remember this one. Plus 13% Virtue Chance, plus 13% Death Blow Resistance, plus 15 Stress, and plus 15 Stun Resistance. So grand total of about 34,000 gold? Almost 35,000. Everyone who wasn't hit level 6. Everyone also survived. Ching got bloodthirsty, so I'm gonna have to rip that off of her because that can be force interactions. She also got skilled gambler, so increased chances of winning while gambling, which I'll never be using. And also got the black plague, so she's out of action for 2 weeks. Or yeah, weeks while I get those off her. Thankfully, Skilled Gambler did not get rid of the new quirk we got on her. Norman got Sunward Phobe and Last Gasp, and Celeste got Thin Blooded. Now there is something I'm a little interested in here with King, so I'm going to check this out really quick. I can lock in Ghostly Chained, so I'm going to do this just so I don't lose it while we get rid of Bloodthirsty. That way it can't get overwritten, just because that quirk is so hard to get. I know I got it like on my first try there, but you have to find the Drowned Anchorman to get it, and then it's like a 5 or 10% drop, and you need this quirk to find a wandering boss, so I need Ching alive with this quirk to get it. And it says it's locking it in, so I'm not getting rid of it, hopefully. Norman, get rid of Koshu. She didn't have something really bad, right? Okay. Celeste, didn't really care about that. And then that is the last of the base bosses, so that means like next week I'm probably going to be hunting Nerob and the what are they called, Wild Hunt. After that I might try my hand a few times at the Head Hoarder boss. I might try a few more times for the I know I've fought the Basilisk once, but I'd like to fight him one more time. When Ching's ready to go, I'll be fighting the Cove boss there now that he's available. And then after I've done all that stuff, we'll go with the last few things I have around here, because those are like the hardest bosses, so I would like to save them for last. I know the Fortified Torian Orochi isn't a bad boss. Something that happens in here, I'm not gonna spoil it, but shit hits the fan. And then like the Grey Seer isn't the worst boss in the world if I remember correctly, but the boss after that sucks. And then the Lord of Flies is a whole can of worms that I don't expect to get through easily. And then the Destroyer from the Stars is very aptly named, I hear. And then those should all be like the last things I do before going into the Darkest Dungeon. That's kind of going to be the plan, and that'll be it for this time. So as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please have a good one.